You got sunshine, and I think it's an omen for what's coming if we work hard to stay united. We know there are groups that represent the clouds and the thunder and the pain that comes to public employees. They don't honor your work, and therefore they don't ultimately honor citizens. I'm Chris Reykdal. I know many of you from the last several years, and I want to thank you for having Karen and I today. We assure you that as we run around the state talking about our other interests running statewide, that we've replaced ourselves with some very effective people that you will elect that are very pro-state employee. But here's the other thing. This does not come easily. You will have to stay very united with your team. You will have to parallel a negotiation with an advocacy effort statewide so that the citizens of the state understand that when they support WFC, when they support AFSCME members, when they support public employees in the contract, they are supporting vulnerable kids. They're supporting senior citizens who need prescription drugs. They're supporting the next bridge that won't collapse. They're supporting the avoidance of a massive healthcare crisis and a public health epidemic. They're making sure that our professionals in our prison system do not suffer loss of life, as we have seen because of poor staffing ratios. Our voters need to understand that when we say we're the safety net, we literally mean that vulnerable people's lives are at stake if the green shirts don't get fair contracts, and that we can't recruit and retain amazing people. You heard the statistic, 99% of public employees are at or below market level for their job class. 2/3 of them are 25% or below market level for their job class. So my brothers and sisters of WFC, do not for a second think that this is solved with 2% and 3% and 3.5% COLAs. We know we're in tough times, but while we're seeking $3.5 billion for kids, it makes no sense to have a child get a full kindergarten class of all the great resources, but go to school hungry or vulnerable or subject to abuse because state employees didn't have the numbers they needed, didn't have the resources they needed, and didn't have the talent that we wanted to recruit. Great education in this state starts right here with the green shirts, all right? That's where it starts. That's where it starts. Be strong, get behind your team, and parallel work your politics. Elect people who will support the contract, support progressive revenue so that we can fund schools and fund our vital public services. This is always about progressive revenue that's fair. I'll leave you with this. 30 years ago, if we were standing here together, we would say, hey, this state's not doing too bad. We dedicate 7% of all of this amazing economic activity back into the public sector. Today, it's less than 5%. And every time we lose a percent of economic activity put back into the public sector, it's $3 billion a year. Are you following me on this? From 7% to 5% is $6 billion a year, or $12 billion a biennium. I'm not asking anybody to change the tax code into something ridiculous like Idaho's progressive tax code, which is more progressive than ours. I'm saying get back to average. At average, we fund schools, we fund state contracts, we get back to competitive salaries, we get back those ratios that we need in our corrections facilities, in public health, at L&I, at employment security, at DSHS. You know your brothers and sisters are dying right now under the workload. Get back to a progressive state. I count on you guys, because while I run around and try to fund schools, I do not talk in any community without funding schools while you absolutely fund vital public services. We are one on this, you guys. We are one. Who's got the power?
We got the power!
Who's got the power?
We got the power!